If you're tired of these promos, regular supporters get the podcast early and ad-free. Just go to donate.bogosity.tv and sign up for Patreon or Subscribe Star at any level. Welcome to the Bogosity podcast for the week of June 21st, 2020, the podcast that gets her done. This is your host, Shane Killian. Let's micro-encapsulate the news of the bogus. Our first two stories are updates this week, and we'll start with the first drug confirmed in a large trial to successfully treat COVID-19 patients. People who die from COVID-19 aren't directly killed by the SARS-CoV-2 virus. Instead, they're basically killed by their immune system going haywire when someone has other health problems. This overreaction can cause serious conditions requiring hospitalization and even death. Dexamethasone is a corticosteroid that has just been shown to cut deaths by 1/3 among COVID patients who required ventilators. Steroids are very effective at controlling inflammation. Some inflammation is good, and our immune systems use it to fight infections, but most of the people who are killed by COVID-19 die not because of the virus, but because of too much inflammation, resulting from the immune system going overboard. Dexamethasone has been shown to effectively correct for that. It's cheaply available as a generic drug and is already being used by more than 1 million Americans. This was determined by one of the largest randomized controlled trials for COVID treatments in the world, with 2,100 active participants whose outcomes were compared with 4,300 in the control group. In patients that required ventilators, deaths dropped by 1/3 when the steroid was given, and even patients who needed oxygen still saw a 20% drop in mortality. It had no effect on people with less severe cases, but it doesn't seem to have caused them any harm either. The study contradicts the claims of the World Health Organization warning countries against treating COVID with steroids. Corticosteroids are some pretty serious drugs that should only be taken with your doctor's supervision, but its effectiveness, combined with its low rate of side effects, could make it a crucial treatment. Now, extended use of any steroid can trash your immune system, so this is a treatment, not a preventative. But again, given that the damage is caused by the immune system overreacting, that, in addition to its anti-inflammatory effects, are apparently what makes it so effective. So far, the only other drug shown to have an effect is remdesivir, but although it can shorten the amount of time patients spend in the hospital, it doesn't have a significant effect on deaths. It's also a patented drug that's in short supply and has to be given by injection over several days. By contrast, dexamethasone is a pill that's in pharmacies everywhere, and it's cheap and easy to take, so this is a very significant finding. And it may have a positive effect on any respiratory illness, not just COVID-19. Ads are annoying, but ad blockers prevent publishers from making money. What if you could support your favorite websites, YouTube creators, Twitch streamers, social accounts, and many more ad-free and without paying anything, and even make some money yourself? It's not a pipe dream, it's airtime. Go to airtime.bogosity.tv and get the browser extension, and you'll earn cryptocurrency for the sites you visit, and so will the publisher. This is not a crypto miner. You and the publisher will both get part of the reward from current miners of the BitTube cryptocurrency, with no middleman taking a cut. Even if the publisher hasn't signed up yet, his tube will be put into a dedicated wallet that he can claim upon sign up. You can also use your tube to tip publishers and even purchase products. Airtime monetizes users and publishers with no ads or crypto miners. Go to airtime.bogosity.tv and start making money now. And we have another update on Zoom's end-to-end encryption. After being attacked from just about every single direction imaginable, they have decided to make their E2E available to all users, not just paid users. They wrote in a blog post, We have identified a path forward that balances the legitimate right of all users to privacy and the safety of users on our platform. This will enable us to offer us E2EE as an advanced add-on feature for all of our users around the globe, free and paid, while maintaining the ability to prevent and fight abuse on our platform. To make this possible, free and basic users seeking access to E2EE will participate in a one-time process that will prompt the user for additional pieces of information, such as verifying a phone number via text message. Many leading companies perform similar steps on account creation to reduce the mass creation of abusive accounts. We are confident that by implementing risk-based authentication in combination with our current mix of tools, including our report a user function, we can continue to prevent and fight abuse. So this is a huge victory. They had taken a brilliant and unprecedented design and effectively broken it by limiting who it would be available to. Apparently enough people told them that it only works when everyone has E2E that they finally relented. Bruce Schneier congratulated them in a blog post and said, "Let's do Apple next," linking to a blog post from Jeffrey Paul showing that Apple doesn't have universal E2E either. Paul wrote, Apple, like Zoom, was going to implement end-to-end encryption to protect users from snoops and government spies. In January, Reuters reported that Apple dropped that plan for everyone because the FBI complained. If Zoom is wrong for doing this, then so is Apple, and they should be subject to the same criticism. iCloud and our device backups hold a lot more of our sensitive private data than our video calls do, and over a much longer time span. In fact, let's keep going from there with Google and Microsoft and the rest, and not stop until everything is protected by E2E. Encrypt all the things! If you're on the Wi-Fi in a coffee shop or hotel, anyone on that network can get your traffic. Do you really trust all of those strangers? For that matter, do you really trust your ISP? A VPN can protect you from prying eyes, disguise your location, and even foil government censors. It's essential in this day and age, so go to vpn.bogosity.tv and you'll be taken to BoxPN. Starting at just $2.99 a month, you can get unlimited high-speed connections to VPN servers all over the world, and they don't log connections, so your privacy is assured. Traveling abroad, just VPN home, and don't worry about what those other governments are doing. Back at home, stop your ISP from traffic shaping and messing with the quality internet access you're paying good money for. You can connect from multiple machines at once, including your smartphone or tablet, and it supports all the secure standards, including OpenVPN and SSTP. Bypass censors and surveillance with your own secure VPN connection. Go to vpn.bogosity.tv. So unfortunately, the Supreme Court has declined to hear any of the 10 Second Amendment cases that have come before it. But that might not completely be a bad thing. The cases covered May issue policies, assault weapons bans, a ban on buying a handgun out of state even from an FFL, and the California handgun roster. These are things that it should be pretty clear are heinously unconstitutional, and there are plenty of other cases coming up. For SCOTUS to hear a case, they first have to grant it cert, short for certiorari, and that takes 4 votes from the 9 justices. It takes 5 of them to rule. As Open Source Defense points out, there might be some jockeying going on. Thomas and Gorsuch dissented from the denial in Pertua v. California, which challenged May issue laws. Alito's opinion in McDonald and Saitano show that he's a pretty clear Second Amendment supporter. Kavanaugh seems to be pretty good on it too. And they point out the interesting timing of the New York City handgun transport case. After SCOTUS granted its cert, New York City repealed the ban to make the case moot. SCOTUS therefore said the case was irrelevant, but Thomas, Gorsuch, and Alito all dissented, and Kavanaugh wrote in a concurrence, "Some federal and state courts may not be properly applying Heller and McDonald. The court should address that issue soon, perhaps in one of the several Second Amendment cases with petitions for certiorari now pending before the court." So, with 4 justices being pretty solid Second Amendment supporters, why was certiorari denied for all 10 cases? One of them would have to have voted against it. Open Source Defense speculates on a simple answer. They didn't know if they could get a 5th justice to support it, and it's better to deny cert on a gun case than to take it on and lose, setting a bad precedent. If that's the case, we can't expect any Second Amendment cases to be heard by the current court. But as they point out, it isn't really necessary. Quote, Supreme Court action is extremely powerful, which is why it draws so much attention. But it's just one avenue. All the progress we've made as a community has all been done with essentially zero help from the courts. So the job today is the same as it was yesterday. Keep the work going. Make more gun owners. Train them up. Build a community. Be cool and friendly. If this whole community keeps working on that like it has been for the past 10 plus years, we're going to get the results that we all want to see. Well, let's hope they're right. And let's hope that when one of these cases does get heard by the Supreme Court, they'll follow their oaths of office and allow every American the right to self-defense. We live in a world where light bulbs connect to the internet, and recent attacks on them prove that your online security is under threat like never before. Not only your websites, but the internet-enabled devices you buy. And the biggest problem is weak passwords. That's why you need LastPass. LastPass allows you to randomly generate strong, unique passwords on the web and on your internet-enabled devices, all protected by one master password. LastPass sets up in minutes and gives you secure automatic logins throughout the web, synchronizing across all your browsers, all your computers, and even your mobile devices, at home, at work, or on the road. It even securely stores sensitive form data, including credit card numbers, backup sensitive documents, software licenses, Wi-Fi logins, and more. And with LastPass Premium, you can get these benefits on other applications, manage passwords for your entire family, and also get priority customer support. Sign up at password.bogosity.tv for a free month of LastPass Premium. Log in securely everywhere using the last password you'll ever have to remember. Go to password.bogosity.tv and get LastPass now. And now it's time to sub-vocalize this week's biggest Bogon emitter. And this week, it's New Mexico Governor Michelle Grisham. Steve Baca shot and wounded a man who, along with other protesters, were trying to vandalize and destroy a statue of Juan de Oñate, who massacred 800 Acoma Indians and ordered 24 captured prisoners to have their feet amputated. The shooting happened after several members of the crowd began chasing Baca on foot as he was backing away from them, some of them striking on the foot, one trying to take a skateboard to his face. One of them yelled, "I'm gonna kill you." He fired at them in a very clear case of self-defense. Several weapons such as knives were recovered from the scene. Protesters are trying to deny it was self-defense, levying accusations against Baca that don't seem to be backed up by the videos taken of the protest, as well as an outcry of a criminal complaint stating that Baca was acting in self-defense. Baca had initially been arrested, but has since been released with most of the charges dropped. The remaining charges are battery and unlawful carrying of a deadly weapon since he didn't have a concealed carry permit. A number of individuals had been present and referred to by Albuquerque police as heavily armed friendlies, referring to their peaceful stance, acting only in defense. Some police officers even thanked them. Some of these individuals are a controversy based on their membership in the group New Mexico Civil Guard, who had several members of the protest and whom protesters accused of being racist because of course they do. The Facebook page was taken down for a White Lives Matter post, because Black Lives Matter isn't at all racist, but White Lives Matter is totally, because that's just the world we live in now. But even if they are white supremacists, there's no evidence that Baca is a member. Nonetheless, attacks have come in from leftists who are just so certain they know what really happened, like John Acosta, who said that the group, quote, were absolutely instigating violence. Their presence is very intimidating, and tensions build off of that. So apparently they instigated violence simply by being there. This is where the governor comes in. She tweeted that the heavily armed individuals were there for one reason: to menace protesters and to present an unsanctioned show of unregulated force. Except, again, the video shows him backing away from the protesters, and he only pulled out the gun and fired when they followed and assaulted him. And I mean, it's one thing when protesters doing this. It's something else entirely when it's the governor. I wonder how many New Mexicans are wishing they had Gary Johnson back. Many such groups are actively coordinating with Albuquerque police and have for many years. They've helped patrol the streets, and there's no history of any of them instigating violence. The governor should not be abrogating her oath of office and spreading potentially libelous statements about her constituents online, which is what makes Michelle Grisham this week's biggest Bogon emitter. I want to tell you about the eyeglasses I've been wearing for years. As people can see on my videos, I have a very strong prescription, which makes glasses more expensive, especially when I need computer glasses, reading glasses, prescription sunglasses, and most expensively, progressive lenses for general everyday wear. To save money while still getting quality glasses, I get them from Firmoo. In fact, I just got a pair of progressives with high-index aspherical lenses and a nice pair of frames my wife loves for just over $100. It would have been $500 to get them through my eye doctor. Not only do they look good, the glasses are durable. I've worn many pairs for several years without problems. All orders come with a 30-day return policy, a 3-month warranty, and one-on-one customer service. Go to Firmoo, that's FIRMOO.Bogosity.tv anytime you need quality glasses at a low price. Once again, that's Firmoo.Bogosity.tv. And now let's re-edify this week's Idiot Extraordinaire. And this week, the news media takes one more as they continue to completely avoid real journalism to take sides, inconsistently telling different stories about reality based on which side is making them. The press has been almost universally supportive of the Black Lives Matter protests, despite the fact that many of the crowds sport a majority of protesters who aren't wearing masks or socially distancing. And hey, I support them too. As long as they're not being violent looters, they have every right to protest, and some really good reasons to do so. But the press switches it all around when it's something they don't like when Trump scheduled a campaign rally in Tulsa. It took about 3 microseconds for a lawsuit to be filed against it, claiming the event, quote, will endanger not only the health of the guests in attendance, but the entire Tulsa community and any community to which guests may afterward travel. If ASM moves forward with the event without adequate review, planning, training, protective equipment, and safeguards, cases of COVID-19 and the unavoidable attendant deaths will rise. Plaintiff's attorney Mark Brewster fearmongered, this is not a matter of if this might happen, it's a matter of certainty. This is going to spread this virus without a question if you rely on the world's leading experts on this issue that's been advising, the administration, the Republican administration at the White House. By the way, Brewster is the one who represented Stormy Daniels in her lawsuit against Trump. But no, this isn't politically motivated at all. But apparently, coronavirus is intelligent and won't infect you if you're holding a sign that says Black Lives Matter. MAGA hats, however, it goes to like a magnet. Ha 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 ha, magnet. Okay, sorry about that. Anyway, the judge denied their requests, causing them to switch tactics and claim the Trump rally will inflame racial tensions. NPR in particular was being egregious about it when they brought up a completely irrelevant massacre in Tulsa in 1921 when local police and the National Guard killed some 150 to 300 black people. It's a horrible tragedy, but it has absolutely nothing whatsoever to do with the Trump rally. The rally isn't even on the site of the massacre. It's just in the same city. Politicians like Kamala Harris replied with their usual psychopathy, like when she tweeted, this isn't just a wink to white supremacists, he's throwing them a welcome home party. But I expect this crap out of politicians. To be honest, I've come to expect it from the news media too, but I shouldn't. They're supposed to be impartial. They can't go saying it's okay to crowd together at one event, but not another, simply when it happens on the other side of the political aisle. Either it's okay to go ahead and crowd together, or it isn't. Personally, I'm leaning more towards the side of okay, at least if you don't live or work around people with high risk of COVID complications. But either way, consistency, people! So all of that gives the news media another Idiot Extraordinaire! Well, that wraps up this, I'm bored with slapping you around. It bores me. Edition of the Bogosity podcast. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please keep this podcast going by subscribing and supporting in one of several different ways you can find at donate.bogosity.tv, including PayPal, cryptocurrency, or subscribing at Patreon or Subscribestar to listen early and ad-free. Also, please come to discord.bogosity.tv where you can join the discussion and post a question, statement, news article, or rant. Thank you for listening. Until next time, here's a quote from Robert Heinlein. Decency is not news. It is buried in the obituaries, but it is a force stronger than crime. The Bogosity podcast is licensed under Creative Commons Attribution Non-Commercial No Derivatives 4.0 International License. Bogosity. Ads are annoying, but ad blockers prevent publishers from making money. What if you could support your favorite websites, YouTube creators, Twitch streamers, social accounts, and many more ad-free and without paying anything, and even make some money yourself? It's not a pipe dream, it's airtime. Go to airtime.bogosity.tv and get the browser extension, and you'll earn cryptocurrency for the sites you visit, and so will the publisher. This is not a crypto miner. You and the publisher will both get part of the reward from current miners of the BitTube cryptocurrency, with no middleman taking a cut. Even if the publisher hasn't signed up yet, his tube will be put into a dedicated wallet that he can claim upon sign up. You can also use your tube to tip publishers and even purchase products. Airtime monetizes users and publishers with no ads or crypto miners. Go to airtime.bogosity.tv and start making money now.